Now we're going to go to our next speaker, Lee Thomson, BlueView Technologies. He's the CEO, Chief Technical Officer, Imaging, Sensors, and Undersea Operations. So let's give Lee a warm welcome.
Again, my name's Lee Thomson. I'm from BlueView Technologies, and we're going to talk about imaging and measurement sensors for undersea operations. What I'm going to do is go through a little bit of background, who we are, what do we do, and then talk through three of the primary flavors of systems we produce. We'll start with the 2D imaging system. Used a terrestrial laser, a dry laser, in a dry dock. Put the flanges in the water. So let me go to the next one. So we put flanges in the water and the laser and scanned everything out. Then we took the laser out, filled it up with water, and put the sonar in. So now we had a nice ground truth with very good accuracy from the laser that we compare against. And so you can see this is actually imagery from those flanges, and you can pick out the bulb holes. So what we found was
the technology that's available is fantastic. I mean, those images that showed us.
I'd like to introduce Paco Santana, who is with iRobot and Maritime Systems. He's going to talk about Seagliders, AUVs, hybrid systems. So let's welcome Paco. Thank you.
So putting that aside now, my talk will be Maritime Systems, and I will give you a little information on some of the systems that are already out there. I put it up in one of my slides. They're in the water. Some of them are prototypes in development. We've built several of them, working with BlueView and working with Seaglider and others in the group here. To develop some of these prototypes, mainly up for ONR. And then the last one is more of a concept. So I think I will bring my, I don't know where my P3 brother went, but maybe I'll touch on that too. So here we go. We started out, as I said, more on the ground side in home products. The home products builds a Roomba, if you don't know, if you know what the Roomba is. The ground robots build the PackBot, and you've seen them, the EOD guys using them. You've seen them at the Fukushima nuclear site in Japan. They've been in the news recently. But the maritime side, you might see the Seaglider. And we bought the license from the University of Washington. So it was designed right here in Seattle. Professor Charlie Erickson was the designer. The Seaglider, to give you some background, it's been, how many people here know what the Seaglider, have seen the Seaglider or know about the Seaglider? There's quite a few of you. So it's been out there for a while now. It was the seed money to develop the Seaglider. What came from the Office of Naval Research. This slide might be a little dated, 15,000 days at sea. It's a pretty reliable product. 70% of that time is spent at depth. The maximum depth is 1,000 meters, although they've tested a new version here at University of Washington to 6,000 meters. NAVO, Naval Oceanographic Group in Stennis, they have 11 right now, and they bought 4 more, so they have 15, or they're going to have 15 in the next few weeks or so. One Seaglider that Professor Erickson was flying exceeded 9.6 months at sea with about 15, I think it was 10-15% more battery capacity, and the glide angle, so you can increase the speed a little bit. It just changes the pitch as either you dive or you come up to the surface. The guidance, it takes a GPS fix on the surface. It goes down to the depth, and it's dead reckoning to the next waypoint. It uses a Kalman filter to make some corrections based on the currents. And it has an altimeter, it's a pinger in essence in the nose, so it won't hit the bottom in case your bathymetry maps aren't right. It will start maneuvering. Once it hears the bottom, it will start maneuvering to go to the surface again. And then of course you can save energy if you know you're in the open ocean. There's a lot of water below 1,000 meters, you can just use the bathymetry maps. You can program it to go to 1,000 meters or 500 meters. It's just a matter of programming what the mission is going to be.
Okay. Our next speaker is Mike Rothy. Did I say that correctly? Roth? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But Mike is with the U.S. Navy, Space and Naval War Systems, Pacific Marine Mammal Program, and other U.S. Navy Unmanned Maritime Systems. Let's welcome Mike.
Thank you in advance for your attention, and I also want to thank John Wood for inviting me to give you this presentation. And you have him to thank for probably what is going to be the most uninteresting presentation that you're going to receive today, I'm sure. Talking about marine mammals is sort of an abstract thing to do. So typically our presentations contain a number of images. I'm Mike Roth, and I manage the Biosciences Division at the Space and Naval Warfare Systems Center Pacific, that's down in San Diego. I like to think of myself as a circus trainer with an engineering degree. I've been managing the Biosciences Division since 2002. Been with the Navy's Marine Mammal Program since 1987. Prior to that, I was assistant engineer for the Air Force. And then prior to that was my circus time. I worked in private industry as a dolphin and sea lion trainer, so I know a little about some of this stuff here. The principal difference between that work with dolphins and sea lions and this work here is that we have to take our animals around the world. And we have to go in a very short period of time, so we are an expeditionary capability. And as John likes to say, we are the original unmanned system, since we're using it. I did get a laugh, John. I'm kind of impressed with that. Okay, so I also have John to thank for the picture on the right there. That's a California sea lion in the front, and in the back, that's the mean assault pier in Bahrain. Prior to assuming command of the Navy Special Clearance Team 1, John was the Special Operations Officer at 5th Fleet, and he was responsible for us getting some of our marine mammals out there to showcase our force protection, random anti-terrorism force protection measures out there using sea lions. And then ultimately, the dolphin systems were called up for service during that period of time as well. But first, a word from our sponsors. Along the bottom there are the folks that validate the requirements and provide the funding for the system. So the program of record, the Marine Mammal Program of Record, has been held at Expeditionary Warfare at 85, almost since the beginning of the program itself. And Rick Nagel, who's sitting over there, was the requirements officer in that office, and is probably responsible for it still being here today. PEO for Littoral Mine Warfare, and then that center logo right there is PMS 408. That's where Paco Santana came from. He was the director of the EOD program office. Those guys give us our acquisition direction and send the money to us. And what we do is we provide these marine mammal capabilities to explosive ordnance disposal mobile units 1 and 3, and in support of, Navy Expeditionary Combat Command. On the top over there, the insignia to the second one from the left is, actually it's RIMPAC 2010. And what we do, I only put that up there because we did support RIMPAC by doing exercise mine recovery and some minefield movements like that. But that's part of the thing that we do when I refer to exercise mine recovery and those lines below there. So that's another aspect of the program I'm going to talk about. Those two to the right are sort of new business areas for us since 2005. Those are the strategic weapons facilities. Kings Bay, let them socialize with you.
More questions? Excellent. Mike, what a great presentation.